Trading and investing is such a spiritual journey because it is way deeper than just looking at the markets and making money out of it. Every single time you look at the prices, you look at an entry, you look at your strategy, it is way deeper than just money. It's like you are practicing meditation with skin in the game because you are practicing seeing how you react to fear, to greed, to prices changing, to things not going your way. You start looking at a mirror of yourself. You'll start looking who you really are, because that's what the market shows you. When you look at the markets and you look at the prices, you look that it's not going the way that you want, who do you become? It really shows you how you think. It really shows you your fear, your greed. When the trade is doing good, when the trade is doing bad, when the investment is doing good, when the investment is doing bad. You start getting to know yourself. It is a practice to get to know yourself, because naturally abundance is our birthright. But because the system, the government, the society made it so fearful when it comes to losing money, when it comes to trading money, when it comes to putting money somewhere, we have so much fear within us because that's how we got developed throughout the years from society, from what we studied about money. But truthfully, abundance is where we came from. Look at the world, look at life. No matter what religion you are, you can see what your creator created. You can see how abundant life is. You can see how abundant the nature is. You can see the beauty of where we live in the world. So abundance is everywhere, wherever we go. It is same goes when it comes to money. Money is truly everywhere, but only if you believe so. This is why I see trading and investing as such a spiritual journey, such as a practice where you can practice to get to know you and also really test yourself when it comes to, do you see money as an abundance, overflow source that can come to you anytime you make sure you are open to it, or do you see it as something that you have to work so hard to get it? You have to work so hard for you to make it or come to you. Therefore, when you go into the markets, when you get into looking at the numbers, looking at the investments, looking at the trades, you are getting challenged. You are getting to know yourself. You are getting an introduction to who you really are. You're getting a chance to practice who you are becoming. You're getting a chance to practice the abundance that you want in this life. Abundantly, how do you think about money? And abundantly, how do you feel about it? Not only that the markets is a matter, but it's also teaching you patience. It's teaching you to trust the process. It's teaching you that you are worthy to become a work in progress. A work in progress to become the greatest version of yourself. A work in progress to become the wealthiest version of yourself. A work in progress to become the best version of yourself alive. A work in progress to become the most free woman, free version of yourself, free female, fully free, location, time, and financially free in your whole bloodline. Because when you get into trading, when you get into investing, when you get into making your money work for you, you learn that it's not only about the numbers. You learn that it's not just because you're doing it because it's smarter for you. It's smarter to let your money work for you and compound. Yes, that's for a side, but it's also because it's teaching you something that's going to stay with you forever, which is the patience, trusting the process, the discipline. Even though you see the profits, you let them run. Even though you see that the market is not doing amazing, you trust the long-term vision. You build the emotional intelligence. It is a spiritual journey because you get to know yourself not only in how you react to money, not only how you react to setups and confirmation and strategy and investments and profits, but also who you become in the journey. And for all my traders and investors out there, maybe you would understand when you get into the markets and you look at the charts, let's say you just woke up and you get into the charts, you completely forget about time. You think time is a glitch. You think time is the matrix because you can make whatever income, I don't want to put any numbers, but you can make whatever income in such a short amount of time, depending on your capital and depending on your skills and depending on your education. And you can truly make some life-changing money if only you know the abundance and the power of it. Only if you sticked into it long enough to know the power of it. Only if you trusted the process long enough for you to know how abundant it is to have a skill that can make you fully free in life. How you handle your money is how you're going to handle your life. The market is the best, is the ultimate teacher to show you that it doesn't care about your feeling, it doesn't care about where you came from, it doesn't care about who you are. I care about your focus. I care about, do you stay patient before you enter, before you have a clear and a confirmation about your entry, about your strategy. The market does not care about who you are, where you came from, how you feel, or where you get the money from, or are you desperate or you're not. It only cares about the focus and the discipline. Trading and investing is a spiritual work if it's done right, because it forces you to become that person who's gonna handle not only losing the money, but also gaining the money, but also maintaining the money, maintaining the profits, trusting the process, learning the skill over and over, always waiting, always watching. It forces you to become that version of yourself. It forces you to become that version of yourself who's going to be wealthy, who's going to be successful, who's going to be patient, who's going to be disciplined. So if you are watching this either as a beginner in trading or a beginner investing, or someone who just never started in the financial markets but is about to start, you gotta trust the process. You gotta trust the person who you are becoming, because every single time you're about to invest into an investment, a currency, a stock, or a trade that you're about to enter, it's not about being right every single time. You have to be wrong in the first times, because that will teach you. That is good for you. But it's about the person who you're gonna become to handle when you are wrong, to handle when you lose the money, to handle when things gets hard, when things gets questioned. Is this even worth doing it anymore? That's what it's all about, the person that you become through the journey, and trusting that it's a journey worth trying, worth doing, worth investing into.